Texted, do you want ice cream? I have to remember, I have to click episode 1.
I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, that's because I muted it right now. So, oh, Hello, everyone! Hello! Welcome to the stream of Umineko no nakokoro ni desu. Hello, hello. Hello, Dot Wizard, JB, Kaz. Hello, everyone. How are you this fine Saturday? This is my first time streaming Saturday in a long, long time. Hello, hello. Hopefully everything is going good. Hello, hello. Happy weekend. Hi, Wizard. Hello. Hello, everyone. Mic works good. That's good. That's good. Good, good, good. Ba-ba-bam. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday. I know I am. I can hear the seagulls and ocean stuff. Yeah. We're gonna continue this little visual novel and see how far we'll go today. Probably not gonna be a super long stream, just because I don't want to ruin my voice for tomorrow. So let's see how long we can handle it today. So let's get started, shall we? So we left off in episode 1. See, cast a spell. Did I put cast a spell? Hold on. If I didn't press the correct button this time. Hold on. Need to reset. Don't worry, daijoubu desu. We'll reset real quick. I don't want to make the same blunder as before. So give me a second. While I get everything started, and no, this is not scuff. Not scuff. Okay, we got the right file this time. Daijoubu desu. So let's get started. The dining hall with screen, filthy rich, featured a super long table which was obviously designed with no other purpose than to make the guests conscious of their rank. And our parents were already seated in accordance with the... Only the place where we would sit were empty and a long table which only made us feel tardiness all the more. I believe the last time we left off, we were about to have our family conference and together at the table. So this is going to be exciting to see how everyone's going to react with one another. The seat at the very head of the table, which we might call the seat of honor, was for the most highly ranked and reserved for grandfather. It was still empty. He was probably planning to come at last to make himself look important. The seating orders as you face the seat of honor went from left to right in rows of 2, with the ranking being lower and further you were from it. So on the left-hand side of the row closet to the seat of the honor was the second-ranked seat belonging to the eldest of the adult sibling, Uncle Kraus. The left-hand side of the second row was from number 4. There sat the old bastard Rudolph as a third of the sibling. Opposite him sat number 5, the youngest sibling, Auntie Rosa. So I guess this is like a good little refresher if you don't remember all the complicated family members we're gonna be meeting. Going like this, you might think that the next ones to come would be their husbands and wives, but guess again, because the left-handed seat in the following listed row, meaning rank number 6, was actually Jessica's seat. Opposite her was George Aniki. Then the seat next to Jessica was me. And the opposite of me was Maria. And next to me on the left-handed side of the 5th row, all the way down on the number 10, finally came Auntie Natsuki. Grandfather clocks would have been neat to have. I think they are neat, but they're very big. They're my house, like old Victorians, you know? Ranking at the seat has been something never understood, like why make it so complicated? Exactly! Why not just determine it like with musical chairs? Whoever gets the best seat is like first dibs. Opposite her was Uncle Hideyoshi. And opposite her was Uncle Hideyoshi, and next to Auntie Natsuki, and the 6th and final row, the left-handed side, was Kirie-san. Cause money. Exactly, cause money. The seat opposite to Kirie-san has been laid out like any other spot, was empty. According to the ranking system, that spot was the seat where Auntie Rosa's husband should be sitting. He hasn't come as far as I know, yet the table has been laid for his seat. These kind of rankings order will usually permit the spouse or corresponding status, but the Yoshida-Miya family had an original kind of ranking. Maybe it's a leftover male chauvinism. I don't know how to say it. Maybe it's under the notion that a mother's womb is only a temporary house for the child and she contributes no genes. A child of direct descent would have the highest ranking, followed by their grandkids. Yeah, white people are indeed weird. Meaning that the spouses with no blood ties would be considered the last in line. It's terrible, but according to the ranking order, grandmother, if she was still alive, would be in the position even lower than mine. In use, obey your father after marriage, your husband after aging, your children. A leftover of the times when they used to say woman no home in 3 words. Long ago, when I was still incapable of figuring all this out, I thought it was so great that we could all chat with the adult siblings sitting in their groups as us cousins in ours. However, now that I can re-examine the seating order after growing up a bit, it stirs up some complicated feelings in me. And Natsuki, married to the eldest son of the family, responsible for managing the household and number 2 of all practical intents and purposes, sat to my right. Which meant that she has 2 steps lower than mine in the ranking order. It was difficult to guess what was going through her head. Alice made a small apologetic gesture before sitting down.
お久しぶりですね、バトラ君。
Nice to see you, Butler-kun.
ずいぶん背が伸びましたね。
You've grown quite tall, haven't you?
はい。
Yeah.
食ったり食べたり食事したりしてたら、いつの間にかこんな身長に。
Normal life, you know, food, meals, eating, then suddenly I was this tall.
さすが男の子ね。
Boys do grow fast, don't they?
身長はいくつくらいあるの？
How tall are you?
180かな。
I guess about 180 centimeters.
つうかおばさん、そこは食べてばっかりじゃねえかって突っ込んでくださいよ。
No, wait. You miss your moment. You're supposed to jump in with, did you do anything besides eat?
え？
Huh?
ああ。ごめんなさいね。
Oh, I'm sorry. After a moment, she gave a small laugh, but it seemed that she couldn't quite figure out what she was supposed to be laughing at. This woman's Aunt Natsuhi, which you had met in the previous episode. She's the wife of the eldest son of the family, meaning that she's my dad's older brother's wife. It is easier to get it if I call her Jessica's mother. It feels bad to say it like this, but not that I hated her, but I didn't particularly like her. She got into our kids' circles, and my only impression of her was somebody who was always talked about complicated stuff with my parents while having a crabby expression on her face. The fact is that having barely any exchange of words, I hesitated a lot even just now about how to approach her. And it was pretty much a flop. We all have those aunts who are probably all worried about family business and are never really that talkative, or at least easygoing in some ways. The silverware had been tidily set up on a table. The meal itself hadn't been brought in. As a rule, the meal doesn't start until the man at the head of the table has taken the seat. As long as grandfather in the highest rank didn't come, lunch would be indefinitely on hold. Not even the appetizers would come. Man, that's rough. In other words, this silence in the dining hall was the sound of our parents as they withstood their hunger and waited on tenterhooks for grandfather to come. Except the grandfather I remember always showed up at the right time when we all ate together like this. He wouldn't ever have been so late as to have everyone else waiting on him.
遅えな、じいさま。
And grandfather's too busy with his witch e-girl.
俺の記憶じゃ、時間に厳格な人だったと思うんだけどな。
Grandfather's pretty late. As far as I can remember, he was always strict about staying on time.
まあ、6年前はそうだったかもな。
Well, maybe 6 years ago, yeah.
最近はそうでもねえよ。
But not lately.
というか、もう自分の世界オンリーって感じで、会食にも顔を出さねえぜ。
But not lately. Seriously, he's off on his own little world now. He doesn't even show up for family meals.
さすがに今日くらいは足並みを揃えてくれるって思ってたんだけどな。
I figured he'd at least stick around for today's meal, though.
まあ、私は来ない方が気楽で。
That said, if he doesn't turn up, I'll be hell of a lot more relaxed and happier to boot.
ジェシカ。
Jessica! After being scolded by her mother, Jessica faced the other way, sticking her tongue out. No way around it. Nothing to do but wait for the host to arrive. When I glanced at the clock, I saw that it was almost 20 minutes past 12. Sheesh! Was that the actual hair, or was there an extension? I don't know. Could be either or. No appetizer would have left immediately. Exactly! Give me the bread with the little olive oil you can dip it in, you know? Also, hello, that one weed guy. That H-Master of Yoshiramiya head house, Yoshiramiya Kinzo. He was there in the study. The clock showed noon, but he didn't even attempt to get up. With reading glasses on his face, he stacked up the old-fashioned books with elaborately designed bindings on top of another mound beside him, immersing himself in the reading. It definitely didn't look like he was, with dancing dust particles on the air stagnated with a mix of smells, various elixirs, each giving off its own super suspicious stench. They were somehow sweet and heavy. From anyone with a good nose, the first thing they'd do as entering would be to open a window and ventilate the room.
お父さん、お父さん。
The knocking against the study room has been going on for a while. A voice calling father sometimes mingled with the knocks. As Kinzo heaved a deep sigh, he snapped shut the old book that he had in his hands and slammed it onto the table. Then he yelled at Kraus, who had been continuing to knock on the door.
やかましい。
Yamero! Silence!
その音を止めぬか、愚か者。
Silence, will you stop that noise, fool?
叩けば扉は開かれると誰が教えた？
Who taught you that? You wish the same upon yourself.
お父さん、
Oto-san!
年に一度の親族会議の日ではありませんか。
Today is the day of the family conference. It comes just once a year.
皆下に集まっています。
Everyone is gathered
どう
downstairs.
かおいでください。
Please come out. No, I'm busy with my e-girl witch. I need her feet pics. Kraus called out to his father through the door. Kinzo always shut himself in the study and hated letting even his family into his room. Grandpa needs correction. He does. Know which feet pics for him. For that reason, Kraus had no choice but to call out thus from the corridor.
私にかがうでない。
Ugh, molest me not. I will molest you.
皆とは何か私をここから引きずり出そうとする者どもなのか
Everyone? Who is everyone? You refer to the fools trying to drag me out here.
ならば殺してしまい
And kill them all, fuck them.
バラバラにして薪にして魔女のロマギを煮るがいい
Put upon that hearth and boil wormwood. I
黙
guess.
示録の煮汁はそれでも私をここから連れ出そうとするバカ者どもに飲ませてやれ
Damn, I guess he wants to correct his family before they correct him. And if still there, remain imbeciles foolish enough to dare try to lure me out here. Force them to drink that broth to the apocalypse.
残りは酒につけるのだ
Reserve the remainder in liquor.
ああ源氏はどこだ
Genji, where are you?
源氏を呼べ
Call for Genji. I need to play Overwatch.
苦害の魔紙を用意させろ
Have my demonic absinine prepared.
緑の妖精のささやきが届かぬ
The whispering of the Green Fairy reaches me no longer.
ああ源氏はどこだ源氏を呼べ
Where is it, Genji? Call Genji. Give me my energy drink, please. What a drama queen, for real. Oh no, he's part of the schizo meme. Well, he is old. Before the door, Kraus, Nancho, and Genji kept waiting for the master of the house who would not come out.
すっかり嫌われてしまったようだ。
Looks like he hates me to his core.
もう私の声では何も届かんよ。
My voice doesn't reach him anymore. Kraus shrugged and through saying it's no use and smiled bitterly. It do be like that. He himself hadn't believed for a moment that his father would answer his calls. However, it says the duty of the eldest son that he had formally made the request.
金蔵さんあんたの
Kinzo-san,
顔を見に息子や娘や孫たちが来てるんじゃないか
your son's daughters and grandchildren have come to see you, you know.
ちょっと顔を見せてやったらどうだね
How about show your face just a little?
うるさい黙れ
Shut up, be silent.
私に意見するというか南條
You dare abolish me, Nanjo.
貴様など呼んではおらぬ私は源氏を呼べと言ったのだ
I do not call for you. I said to call for Genji.
さあ急げすぐに呼べ
Now hurry, call for him this instant.
時間は常に有限だ人たちはすでにラッパを構えているぞなぜにそれがわからぬか愚かな羊どもめ
Time is short. The apostles are already readying their trumpets. Why do you not understand this, you foolish sheep? Fuck. Kinzo slammed the old heavy book on the table over and over. The racket obviously indicated his highest displeasure. Kinzo put his spectacles down and flew up from his chair. He spread his arms wide open as to sing to a packed opera house, as if appealing to someone and yelled.
なぜだ
Why?
なぜにいつも私には邪魔が入るのか
Why is there always something in my way?
すべてを捨てようすべてを捧げようその見返りに私は一つしか求めないというのに
I would throw it all.
お前の微笑みをもう一度見られるならば私は世界中から美少を奪い取りすべてをお前に捧げよう
Man, he is super down bad. Oh, Beatrice, if I could see your smile but one more time, I would plunder the smiles of the earth and offer them all up to you.
おおイナゴの軍団長たちよ世界中から美少を刈り取り収穫せ
Oh, commanders of the locust legions, reap the smiles of the earth. Talk, talk,
す
talk.
べてが汚らわしいすべてが煩わしい
Ah, all is filthy, all is irksome.
なぜこの貴重な一日に私は邪魔を受けねばならぬのか。
Why must I suffer this impediment of the most precious of days? Damn, witch water really do ruin a motherfucker, don't they? Damn.
源氏を呼べ。
Call for Genji and tell him to give me feet pics.
何を怒鳴ってるのかもさっぱりだな。
Yeah, I have no idea what he's yelling.
もう頭がどうにかなっているのだろう。
I guess he's finally gone nuts.
クラウスさん、
How, son?
実のお父さんにそりゃあんまりじゃないかね。
Isn't that a bit harsh to your birth father?
親父はすでに死んでいる。
My dad is already dead.
ここにいるのは親父だったものの幻さ。
All that he is here is a phantom of what he once was.
いずれにせよ本人にここを出る意志がない以上どうにもならんね。
At any rate, as long as he lacks the will to leave that room, there's nothing we can do.
金蔵さん、
Insel-san. That man's thirstier than a cactus. For real. He wants the ninja feet pics. Choking coughs continue to pour from the study.
私は下に戻る。
I ain't going back downstairs. Fuck this shit.
ゴーダの自慢のランチをこれ以上無駄に冷ましてしまうことはない。
It would be a waste to let that lunch go that's so proud of getting any colder.
親類たちにとって当家での数少ない楽しみだろうからな。
It's one of the few things the others have to look forward to here. Kraus spun on his heels. He looked at his wristwatch, mumbling and acting as though he had wasted time doing something he knew would be in vain.
源氏さん、
Genji-san,
親父殿がお呼びだ。
father is calling for you.
相手を頼む。
Keep him company.
かしこまりました。
Kashikokarimashita. Certainly.
南條先生、
Dr. Nanjo.
食事に行きましょう。
Let's go eat.
いつまでもここにいるとこの甘い匂いで味覚までおかしくなってしまう。
If we stay here any longer, even our sense of taste will go insane from all the sweet smell. Without waiting for Nanjo, Kraus went downstairs. Genji urged Nanjo to go and eat. Nanjo looked back as he disappeared down the stairs, then to the study room, and he let out a deep sigh.
すまんが源氏さん、
Ben Genji-san,
頼みます。
please.
はい、お任せください。
Yes, please, leave it to me. I have his feet pics prepared.
お酒はなるべく与えないように。
If possible, don't give him any alcohol. He's already ingested enough e-girl water.
あれは常習性が強すぎる。
It's too powerful a habit.
源氏はまだか。
Is Genji not here yet? Give me my Beatrice hentai.
何者が源氏を阻んでいるというのか。
Who dares keep Genji from coming?
源氏はどこだ。源氏を呼べ。
Where's Genji? Call for Genji, I need my bottle.
さあ、ここはお任せください。
Now, please leave it to me. Okay,
すみませんな。
Sally. Nancho gave a small tuck in his head and descended to the stairs. Genji saw him off and knocked at the study door.
親方様。
You made me wait so long.
そこには誰もおるまいな。
Is there no one there I trust?
はい、
Yes.
私だけでござ
I
い
am
ます。
alone. Ginzo returned to his seat in the study and pressed an old-fashioned switch on the table. After a small delay, the heavy sounds of the door unlocking could be heard. Ginzo believed that his family might try to break into his study. Perhaps someone once opened the window for some fresh air and scattered some important documents or something. And that made him extremely upset. Now Ginzo had replaced the secure lock in his room, making it so that without his permission nobody could enter, locking himself in a dungeon he himself created. Genji, who had trusted the most and was relatively free to enter the room, but even that was not absolute. If Ginzo was in a bad mood, even he wouldn't be able to enter. Anyone else would be limited to holding a conversation through the door, not even seeing his face. And most of the time, they wouldn't even get a real conversation. However, that didn't pose any particular problem for the family. That was because they had no reason to go out of their way to interfere with the retirement of the pancreas and aged head.
The fact that he was completely immersed in the odd research and always locked up in the hideaway was something of a benefit. They made the most of the refusal to leave the study and trusting him to the hands of the servants while they themselves kept their distance.
源氏、いつものやつを頼む。
Genji, my usual, give you the Baja Blast.
私は忙しい。
I'm busy.
はい。
Yes. Genji headed to the corner of the study. There was a special-looking bottle boasting venomous colors were on display. They were actually liquor, but in considering that they were placed in the shady-looking room, you could have almost suspected they might have been ghastly poisons. The inside of the study was filled with the mountainous libraries of outlandish books that the Kinzo had amassed. They were bizarre-looking old books, some banned and some each every one of them either forbidden, cursed, or sealed. Of course, if no one were actually called them old books, Kinzo would fly into a rage and say something like this. Call them grimoires. There were countless which all melted in the suspicious-looking old-fashioned had taken one particularly peculiar form and managed the other strange objects, probably having something to do with the black magic. The constellations covering the celestial globe would have caused anyone who knew the night skyward to raise an eyebrow. The illustrations described in old books haphazardly left open range from the religious to the mystical, to the demonic and grotesque, as well as the bizarre diagrams, fairies, and magic circles. All above the sweet poison smell that filled the room, to which those entering the first time would surely be profound assaults of their sense of sight, smell, and their own senses, making them lose their grip of reality. Inside that study, Genji, with his well-trained hand, prepared Kinzo's usual drink. If you don't even know what the ghastly dark green liquid is filled complexly designed bottle with liquor, you certainly wouldn't have to put it in by your mouth. He poured a small quantity of the spirit into his glass, placed a cube of sugar in the strangely shaped green liquid, turned to a cloudy white. He created the strange visual illusion that the water had caused a chemical reaction which made it all more difficult to perceive the concoction as liquor. To his, he added an original flavoring that Kinzo liked and fine-tuned the taste. There was no recipe. Its success was measured only by Kinzo's mood swings, and when he drank it, he had learned how to make it only after many decades. Damn, that's one hell of a Baja Blast. Gamer gotta get that drink. Genji placed the glass on the tray and made it over his way to Kinzo. Kinzo was now gazing out the window.
どうぞ、親方様。
As you asked, my lord. Your Baja Blast.
ああ、すまん。
Thank you. Kinzo had regained his composure, so much that he was now recognizable as the man who had been shouting, screaming, and yelling just moments before. At that, the man's back dwelt the dignity of intelligence and made plain simply by how he tilted his glass and gazed down at the scenery beyond the window. Genji, in order to allow Kinzo to sit down his glass at any time, motionlessly waited behind as he left as though he were a living sideboard. As he did, Kinzo stuck out just the glassy glaze, still directed at the window, looking outside the window. There was just a mouthful remaining. It was not a gesture intended to set up on the tray as Genji expected, but he was a motion to hand the glass over to Genji.
飲め。
Drink it,
我が友よ。
my friend.
もったいないお言葉です。
That is more than I deserve.
私とお前の中に儀礼はいらぬ。
No need for ceremony between us.
飲め。
Drink it,
友よ。
friend.
いただきます。
Thank you. Genji respectfully received the glass and inclined it with a little taste of its contents. Then he downed it in one gulp.
お前が作るのを真似ているのだがどうにも同じ味が出ぬ。
I attempted to imitate your concoction, but no matter how I try it, I cannot replicate the
お
taste.
前が作る方がうまい。
The way you make it is pure relish.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much.
親方様のご指導の賜物です。
It is the fruit of your guidance, my lord. Ito smiled at his loyal subjects who refused to put aside rank even as he asked to. However, he was not making fun of him, he was relaxed, like a smile at a close friend's unriddled bad habit.
互いに老いたな。
We have grown old, you and I.
年を数えることも忘れてすでに久しい。
I forgot my age a long time ago.
今日まで過ごすことをお許しいただけたのも、すべて親方様のおかげでございます。
That I permitted to live the life I have until today has been thanks to you, my lord. Kinzo gave a thin smile, as if to say he didn't need compliments.
今日まで本当によく私に仕えてくれた。
He has served me exceedingly well these years.
息子たちは誰もが私を変人呼ばわりした。
My sons call me eccentric.
大勢いた使用人も皆私を恐れてやめていった。
The servants that were once many of all,
足りないお言葉です。
that is more than I deserve.
私の余命もそう長くはあるまい。
I doubt I have much time to live.
息子たちは私の遺産がいつ転がり込んでくるかをうろうろ待つハゲタカばかりだ。
My sons are vultures, lazily waiting for my inheritance to fall into their hands.
クラウスの愚か者は金を湯水のように使い、1枚の金貨を売るのに2枚の金貨を捨てておる。
The fool crow squanders money like water, throws away 2 gold coins to obtain 1.
それで金を稼げたなどと妄言を。
With that, he deludes himself into saying he earned money.
エヴァは金の亡者だ。あやつは私を鶏か何かだと思っておる。
Ava's a slave to money, thinking of me as a hen or whatnot.
死んだらガラにして出汁まで取る気だ。
As if when I die, she'll even use my carcass to make a broth.
ルドルフの間抜けは女遊びばかり。
That dunce Rudolph just wants to fool around with women.
ローザはどこの馬の骨ともわからん男の赤ん坊など産みおって。
Rosa bore that baby of a nobody.
ジェシカは無能で無学だ。
Jessica's incompetent and illiterate.
ジョージには男としての器がない。
George has none of what it takes to be a man.
バトラーは後宮家の栄誉を自ら捨ておった愚か者だ。
Bowser's a fool who threw away the honor of his Shuramiya family.
マリアなど見るのも汚らわしい。
And Mari is obscene to the eye.
なぜだ、なぜに後宮の血はこうも無能なのか。
Why is his Shuramiya blood so incompetent?
私の築き上げた栄光を受け継ぐにふさわしい者はおらんのか。
Is there anyone worthy to inherit the glory I built?
ああ、分かっておるとも。これがベアトリーチェの呪いであることも分かっておる。
Of course I know this. This is Beatrice's curse. I know it.
黄金の魔女め、それが私への復讐のつもり。
Hate me if you
逃
wish.
げたければ逃げるがよい。
Run away if you wish.
逃がさぬ、逃がさぬ、逃がさぬ、逃がさぬわ。
I won't let you go. I won't let you go. I won't let you go. I put you in my jar.
お前は私のものだ。
You're mine.
常に私の腕の中でなくてはならん。
You cannot be anywhere but in my arms.
私の生涯のすべてなのだ。
You are my entire
我
life.
が鳥かごにて永遠に私だけに囁き続けるのだ。
You'll continue to whisper for all eternity in my birdcage to me, only to me.
ベアトリーチェ、
Beatrice.
なぜに微笑み返してはくれぬ。
Why won't you give me back your smile?
おお
Whoa! Man, this is what happens when you're a tier 3 sub to a vtuber.
ベアトリーチェ。
No, he's Kumi. Whoa! It's Kumin, bro. After howling, Kinzo choked once again. Genji set the tray in the glass down and patted his master's back. Genji's facial expression did not change. He was always like this. He wants to witch pussy. Oh, hi, Shida. You just missed a wooing. Yeah, he's Morbin.
すまぬ我が友よ。
This man is down bad for some witch pussy. After his almost deranged outburst of the past few minutes settled down, Kinzo regained his composure once more. This way, his attitude changed like he was seeing 2 different people, a wild Kinzo and a composed Kinzo living together inside one body.
ゆえに
The life of a simp, And so
私は決心した。
they have decided
このままぼやき切った余生を怠慢に過ごすことなどもはや耐えられはせん。
I decided I cannot stand spending the inspid remainder of my life procrastinating like this.
この身に最後にとするコインがあるならば、それを悪魔たちのルーレットに託してみたい。
Oh, I'm gonna morph. I cannot stand spending my inspid remainder of my life procrastinating like this. If I had my final coins left to gamble, then I'd choose to abandon them all in the whims of the demon's roulette.
魔法の力はいつもかけるリスクで決まる。
The power of the magic is always determined by the risk staked upon it.
日本古来の呪術である牛の国参りがそうであろう。
Like visiting a shrine at the hour of the ox in ancient Japanese sorcery, a nailed cursed doll to a tree.
7日間儀式を目撃されてはならないというリスクを支払うからこそ魔力が宿る。
Magic power dwells in incurring the risk that there will be seen before 7 days pass.
困難なリスクが生じれば生じるほどに魔力は強く生じるのだ。
The more dangerous the risk, the stronger the magic power will be.
神話に登場する数々の奇跡は天文学的リスクに奇跡的な低確率を得て成就した驚愕すべき魔力の結晶なのだと言える。
All the various miracles that appeared in myth can be called crystals and astonishing magic power attained through the miraculously low probabilities and astronomical risks.
モーゼが海を割ったのは神の奇跡ではない。
That Moses parted the sea was no miracle of God.
蹂躙の計りに乗せられ軍勢によって航海に追い詰められた絶体絶命のリスクが奇跡の魔力を生んだのだ。
It was an utterly desperate risk weighed upon the scales of oppression of being cornered by soldiers on the Red Sea shores, which gave birth to the miraculously magic power.
同じことが同じ規模で繰り返されようとも再び海が割れることはないだろう。
Even if the same thing occurs again, on the same scope, the sea will no doubt not part.
なぜならモーゼは力ある者たちのルーレットの麻葬儀ナユタをかけたよりも多く存在する目の中に一つだけ刻まれた奇跡を見事引き寄せることができたからだ。
That is because Moses managed to spectacularly draw out the single miracle caves into the roulette, those powers which have pockets of Asoki 1056 and Noyata 1060 multiplied together.
その天文学的確率に勝利できる力。
The power to triumph over astronomical odds.
そう、奇跡をつかみ取る運気はすなわち魔力なのだ。
Yes, magical power is, in other words, having the luck to grasp miracles.
強大な魔力を得るためには絶望的なリスクを背負わねばならぬ。
To obtain great magical power, one must bear a risk that is hopelessly great.
魔力持たぬ者はそれを賭けでなく自暴自棄と呼ぼう。
Those who possess no magic will call this not a bed but pure desperation.
しかし真に魔力ある者はその奇跡をつかみ取り神秘を成就させるのだ。
However, those who truly do possess magical powers can grasp hold of that miracle and make the enigma come into being.
もしも私にその魔力があるならば
And if that power exists within me,
私はその奇跡をつかみ取るだろう。生涯を費やした願いを実現できるだろう。
I will seize that miracle and I'll be able to make that wish I devoted my life towards coming true. Giza looked up at the sky outside the window. He spread his arms as if appealing to someone up in the sky.
もし
And if
私にその奇跡を手にする資格があったなら
I were to have what it takes to obtain that miracle,
おーベアトリーチェベアトリーチェ
Whoa, Abiato!
お前の愛くるしい笑顔をもう一度だけ見せてくれ。
Show me your lovely feet once more.
どれほどの月日を経ようともお前の面影が消えることはない。
No matter how much time passes, your face does not vanish.
ただお前の美少が見たい。それだけだ。
I just want to see your smile. That is all.
お前から授かったものを全て返そう。
I'll return everything you granted me.
あの日からの栄光を全てお前に返そう。
I'll return all the glory I've gained since that day.
富も名誉も黄金もいらぬ。
I don't need fortune, prestige, gold.
お前に授かった全てを返そう。
I'll return everything you granted me.
私はただお前の美少が見たいだけなのだ。
I just want to see your smile and your feet.
ご賞だ、ベアトリーチェ。
I beg of you, Beatrice.
Hello, A. You just got into the Morbin time. His nonsensical yell surged into a scream and then into a wail. Ginzo crumpled in the floor and crawled at it with both hands. Genji had no choice but to wordlessly watch his master's lament. Damn, he morbed too hard.
やあ諸君、
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
当主様は具合が優れられないとのことだ。
the head of the family is not in his best shape.
せっかくこうして1年ぶりの会合に集まってくれた諸君と昼食を共にできないことを非常に残念にしておられた。
He considers this a great shame that he will not be able to partake in lunch with you at all. You having an assembly, especially for his long-awaited yearly meetings.
ゴーダ、ランチを始めてくれ。
Goda, just let the lunch begin, fuck it.
かしこまりました。それでは本日の昼食を始めさせていただきます。
Certainly, well then, ladies and gentlemen, we shall begin today's luncheon.
南條先生、そんなにお父様のお具合は悪いの？
Dr. Nanjo's father's condition really that bad?
せめて顔くらい見せてくれてもいいわよね。
Surely he could have at least showed his face.
体調というよりは機嫌ですな。
Rather than his physical condition, it's his mood.
こればかりはつける薬がありませんので。
And for that, there is no medicine I can prescribe.
おいおい、機嫌ってまたかよ。そりゃないぜ。
Oh, come on, for God's sakes, mood again.
こちとら、秋のクソ忙しい時期にスケジュール都合して、ご機嫌伺いに来てるんだ。
We come to hear how he's doing making time in our schedule in this damn busy season of autumn.
それをよ。
That's just...
よかったじゃないか、ルドルフ。
And you got what you wanted, Rudolph.
ご機嫌は伺えたんだ。
You managed to hear how he's doing.
それとも、不機嫌な親父殿を私に代わり、お前が説得して連れてきてくれるのかね？
Or do you want to take my place and try to persuade our ill-humored father to come join us?
まさか。
Are you kidding? Rudolph shrugged. Apparently, even though Rudolph seemed to resent the way his father did whatever he pleased, he'd rather avoid seeing his face if he could help it.
夕食までにはその機嫌治りそうなの？
Does it seem like his mood will improve before dinner?
クラウス兄さん。
そんなことは知らんよ。
I have no idea.
親父殿に直接聞いてみるといい。
You can try ask father directly.
もっとも、声をかけない方が機嫌の治りは早いと思うが。
Although I think his mood will improve faster if you don't bother him.
源氏さんだけだよ。じい様の機嫌を直せるのは。
The only one who can bring grandfather's temper under control is Genji-san.
情けないぜ。自分の親の機嫌を使用人に直させるんだからよ。
Damn, pretty pathetic when you have to have a servant to deal with your own parents' bad moods.
ジェシカ、
Jessica,
余計なことは言わなくていい。
don't speak out of turn. She planned out her compliment to be heard only by her cousin, but it had reached even Krause's ears. Golda Jessica scoured and turned away sulking.
機嫌がうんぬんってことは、病状はそんな悪くないんじゃねえの？
His condition can't be that bad, can it? With that kind of temper?
元気がないってんならと。
One thing, but if it's his mood that's bad, at least it's proof that he's got some fight in him.
おじい様は特に強い気力をお持ちだからね。
Well, grandfather does have a especially strong willpower.
でも体が必ずしもそれに伴えるとは限らないよ。
But it doesn't mean that his body will always follow that.
去年からずっと余命3ヶ月って言われ続けてる。
Since last year, they kept saying that he has 3 months left.
最初の診断が正しいなら、おじい様は気力だけで流られてるってことになる。
If that initial diagnosis was correct, grandfather had been prolonging his life by willpower alone.
気遣ってあげないといけないよ。
We'll have to be concerned for him. Let's start with the family. Its seat still empty. The man who should have been sitting there was already old. Now the brilliant glory which had been rebuilt the Yoshirame family in a single lifetime is slowly being forgotten. Nobody seemed to feel uncomfortable when the meal began with the seat still empty. Ugh. I guess we finished that chapter. And some time passes. The Yoshirame family conference was held once every year. It took place on the first weekend of October. If a normal family were to use their pretentious name like family conference, you would expect to be nothing more than a reunion of rarely seen relatives who greet each other but are surrounded by buckets of sushi. However, in the Yoshirame family where the sons and siblings by lent great fortunes, and the only ones that achieved success in big business were considered adults, it was literally a conference. Thank you, Adonis, for the 420. Gotta blaze it. How much of the fortune was invested? What kind of business was conducted? How much was earned? As a result, how much of the fortune borrowed the main family could be repaid? Oh, or alternatively, how much would you borrow for future business adventures? What lessons would they have learned, and what could they have learned from their mistakes? I think the topic of this has been discussed very seriously in the past. My dad called it a bed of nails. Yeah, we fixed the alerts. You can see Honest John now, which very lit. Apparently, it used to be very serious family meetings where all would commonly be shown with the harsh and angry voices, and even got slapped in the face despite being well past the age of it. However, that was all a thing of the past. By now, everyone had achieved success in their own independent business ventures, and it was only the road to becoming a normal yearly get-together. Even so, being asked by grandfather about the current state of play was an extremely stress-inducing event. And while to us grandchildren it was nothing more than a simple meeting to our parents, it was still a real stomachache. The absence of the man responsible for all this, for whatever reason behind it, surely have made today's lunch even more delicious. The cat is away, the bicycle play comes to mind. Well then, let me introduce Jessica's father, whose face I haven't seen for 6 years. The man sitting to my dad's left is the older brother and the father of Jessica, Uncle. His name sure is easy to read if you can learn Japanese. It's Kurasu. After so many weird names, it wraps your sense of what's normal and you start to think, hey, what's wrong with Kraus? It sounds pretty cool actually. Just like with Aunt Natsuhi, I don't have many memories of the speaking with Uncle Kraus. He had never been on one to talk to children, and I feel like he was always talking with adults just like Aunt Natsuhi. From that way my dad talked about him, seemed that he used to be a pretty spiteful and unreasonable person. If what my dad has said is true, he used to be very domineering as the oldest sibling. He was hated by Auntie Eva, Auntie Rosa, and the rest of the family. Odd considering they're all having fun chatting together. Well, I guess even if their relationship was bad when they were children, sometimes when people grow up and go to their separate ways, their relationship changes. That's probably what it is. After all, they have children going to be taking. Jessica and the other to escape this discussion of exams with the old bastard sitting on here on the left. He was purposely facing the right, firing off topic after topic so not to give him an opening. Moving on, let's look at the end opposite of the Uncle Kraus and the others. In the very least, seated at the table, an old gentleman with a steady physique sat facing Kirei-san. It was the first time meeting him. I'd only been introduced to him, but it seems the grandfather's personal doctor, a man called Nanjo. Apparently he used to be a huge clinic on the nearby Nijima Island, but he turned it over to his son and then began living a life of leisure in his old age. He has known grandfather since the very beginning when the mansion was first constructed. At this island, he had a history going on back several decades. I thought he might be grandfather's companion in his suspicious hobbies, but Surprisingly, it seems that he's grandfather's chess partner. I see that kind of hobby does seem very like our grandfather with his love of Western style. You can probably also call him one person able to enter Rokujima who is neither a family member nor a servant. From listening on his own conversation with the womenfolk sat near him, he gave the impression of this calm and old gentleman. Considering he's managed to put up with the short-tempered grandfather for so long, I'm sure he had a big heart is nothing to laugh at. Still, even he had his doctor having someone from outside the Shinomiya family attending the family conference is a little odd. For that fact, I mentioned grandfather's condition has grown much worse. And maybe even one of the major topics of discussion at the family conference. George Aniki was just saying it too. For the past year, grandfather has been continually pronounced as having a very little time left to live. It's awful to talk about, but grandfather is an extremely rich man. At the time of his death, his wealth will suddenly be released, along with our parents' stomachs and acid, surely leading to some serious ulcers. With this kind of thing, the greater the number of ways it's split, the more trouble will be the cost splitting it. This kind of talk would probably be more included in the family conference. Oh well, it's not like it has anything to do with us children. Finally, even though he's absent, let me introduce our grandfather. The simp of the family, the person who should be sitting up the honor of the Yoshirimiya Kinzo. He really sucks. He really gave everyone else in the family weird names, but he himself uses one which is conservative as hell. If only his name was written in those same characters for gold and bulk, but he let us call him Goldsmith or something. That'd be totally awesome. As you can probably gather from all the talk about him, he's a frightening person with extremely short temper, because I'm just his grandkid and haven't met him since I was in elementary school 6 years ago. I don't remember ever having been beaten by him, but it seems our parents were raised with an iron fist. An earlier conversation between Dad and Uncle Kraus, who should have gone to convince Grandfather to come out, seems oddly funny if you take this into account. In order to tell Grandfather so, you have to take yourself all the way back before the 1926 to 1989 Showa era to recount the tale of the Yoshirimiya family. Well, that's probably gonna be a lot of exposition to read, and I did say that I would stream like within an hour, and I'm already very close to 6. So I would most likely just end it here because I have a feeling this is gonna be very long. So either way, it was nice to revisit this game again. Whew, I think I'm just gonna end it here. But it was a lot of fun to stream again. I'm definitely getting a lot of stuff out of the way, because now I have extra time to stream, so I want to try to do this as regularly as possible. And thankfully we got to cover this game again. I still am very determined to finish it, despite it's gonna be a very long Let's Play. So it was nice to at least hang out with you guys again, especially on a Saturday. Thank you for the stream, it went smooth. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. The stream was definitely a lot of fun. We got to see Kinzo in his full Morbin form with his simping for the witch e-girl. So that was fun, I guess. Thank you for the comfy stream, Misery. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna be streaming next time. I need to look at the schedule, but if you want to look at the schedule yourself, you can see it on my Twitter, which is right here, misery_BT. Yeah, simpin', morbin, every day. Yes, yes. So, I'm not gonna take up too much time now. I'm gonna go skedaddle and maybe eat a little ice cream or something. The weather is getting quite hot for this little puppet. But either way, thank you all for coming today. Sorry it was a little shorter than normal, but either way, we're gonna stream next time. And hopefully we'll touch back on Umineko again. So thank you, thank you. Take care, everyone. Have a lovely Saturday. Goodbye.